your why was, I want to grow and I want to make more money. And then you were given an opportunity and you went and you were more successful. Can you think back to what put you in a position to outperform everyone else, even in that early stage? Like, what did you do differently to everyone else?
You kind of discover this like for sales, and it's a little, I mean, in the initial stages it's kind of money motivated, but then ultimately you figure out that you actually enjoy these types of things, and there's always like there's like those two types of sales where it's like typically salespeople are thought of in a very negative light, right? We're just trying to pitch something. We're just trying to sell you something. I've always kind of turned around and focused on the relationship sales aspect of it, where I want to sell a product that you could actually use. I want to sell a service that you could actually take advantage of. I'm going to make you money, save you money, something along those lines. So when you convert it over to the relationship sale and kind of focus your energy around that, it takes away from the whole negativity of these different connotations around what salespeople are, and what salespeople kind of like or what their motive actually is. I genuinely believe that the product that I'm selling will add value to you, or I don't want you to buy it. And I think if you go in that approach, then you'll succeed all day long. But for me, to answer your question, it was more about challenging myself. Can I do better than I did the previous month? Obviously, when it comes to sales, one of the great parts about it is the fact that you potentially have peers around you that you're competing against. And what other role in an organization benchmarks you against, like quantitatively benchmarks you against other people, where you can say, I am better than you because I did X, right? There's not many roles in organizations where there's an actual scorecard. And, when you're focused on that, looking at that, and can kind of prove to an organization your success, I mean, that's where it is. In all honesty, though, James, the only reason why I ended up in sales was because I had to drop out of school, so I didn't finish my finance degree. I was, and now would say very blessed to have had a child at a very young age. It wasn't the plan. You're supposed to finish uni and then start having children. But I ultimately had to leave school in order to go and make money, and I wasn't qualified to do anything but sales is one of those roles where you can kind of make a lot of money and not have to have a degree or an education to be able to do it. You just have to have that personality, that grind, that want.
And how many years were you in sales before you got an opportunity to step into people leadership? And I don't know if it was a tipping point in your career, but was there something that excited you about actually transitioning to really driving a sales team?
Yes and no. Like you kind of, when you're looking at your career, a lot of times you think that, the next logical step is to be managing people, right? You come from an individual contributor to a manager of people. And, that's not always the best thing. I mean, I've had phenomenal salespeople work for me over the course of years, but they are absolutely terrible people manager. And it's this whole idea is that, are you better as an individual contributor, just taking care of yourself, living on your island, versus training and coaching other people? And I think there's the other aspect of it too, that you have it set in your mind that growing into a management role and managing other people means you're ultimately going to make more money. That's not necessarily true either. I'm actually a big proponent that the top of your top sales force should be making more money than the people that are managing that sales force. There should be more of a medium mark for that. So you have to have get away from the idea that it's a natural progression to move from an individual contributor to a manager, and also get away from the idea that everybody's good at people management, right? It is a completely different skill set, and there are days that I love it. There are days that I absolutely hate it. I just found a passion for it, and fortunately, through becoming kind of the best at the sales role, they kind of default promote you into it, which again, logically doesn't make any sense, but that just happened to be where my journey went.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, because you often see that it is the top person gets promoted and becomes a sales manager. And the reality is a lot of teams take a big hit, because all of a sudden that big revenue stream that they had has now been depleted as this top salesperson tries to figure out how to motivate and inspire different reps.